what do you think about this? Ruth Porat,
Porat.
is looking to rein in spending. How serious is she about that?
So it's already
How serious
happened.
are her bosses about allowing
So
her to do
I heard
that?
you guys talking before saying it was only words. That's so unfair. It actually happened this quarter. They actually cut spending this quarter at least enough or boosted revenues enough that EBITDA margins were actually 200 basis points better than what Wall Street had been expecting, or the analysts were just wrong. So spending has been coming down. Traffic acquisition costs as a percentage of revenue have
Hang on, do you think the analysts could possibly have lowballed the numbers?
I think that they did not expect the expenses to be cut as much as they were. But I don't think that that's the only important thing that we saw this quarter. I think that we saw sort of the continuation of two important trends, one really good, one really bad. So the number of clicks that they got on ads continued to increase. So think about the world as the world goes from desktop to mobile. Right, we're getting more and more ads, more and more computing is happening on our phones, on our tablets, principally on our phones. And yet Google's getting more and more clicks on ads. They saw an 18% year-over-year increase in the number of clicks on ads. That's really good news. But the bad news? There's really bad news in the pricing. So all the bulls in Google, and even people within Google, really think that someday we're going to see the value of clicks stop falling. Even though we've gone from desktop to mobile, we're going to see the value of clicks stop falling. And instead, and it looked like it was going, it went from 9 to 6, to -9, -6, -2. Looked like suddenly we're at least going to flatline.
I think that's interesting. You know,
but it's getting worse. It's getting worse.
More and more likely. First of all, clearly, they're directing ads at consumers better. So I get ads that are more relevant to me. I'm assuming we all share the
When's
same
the last time you
experience.
clicked on a Google ad?
Yesterday.
Really?
I'm not sure if it was a Google ad, but I clicked on some sort of ad on a web page.
You might have clicked on a top search result that you didn't know was an ad. Yes, Google does that.
Yeah, I usually click on things that are geared towards my interests.
They're supposed to be highlighted?
And
they're not?
And the other thing is,
I would say they're not blatantly highlighted.
I feel like it's easier to go from click to spend. Obviously, it is easier to go from click to spend than it was years ago. So why is that price dropping?
Because the value of ads, this is one of the great conundrums of our modern age. That is, advertising has gotten more direct, more traceable, more
valuable,
customizable. It's gotten less valuable.
No. More valuable in terms of what it generates.
You'd think so.
Less valuable in terms of what price it fetches.
That trend of going from desktop to mobile, that value per click falling, isn't the beginning of the trend. The beginning of the trend is when we went from TV ads where you had burping frogs talking about Budweiser to going to Yahoo display ads. And then we thought the ads would be more targeted and therefore more valuable. Prices fell dramatically. Look how skinny, magazines are. Pick up a copy of Sports Illustrated. It's tragic, right? Because ads have gone from widely displayed to very much targeted online, and even more so on mobile. And yet, over the last 15 years, we've seen CPMs fall across all industries. So it's an interesting conundrum.
Maybe the world is just, now that we actually have a marketplace for ads, right, a real-time marketplace for the value of ads, people are recognizing what an ad is really worth.
I think that's probably more likely. And the other thing one last point I want to make about expenses. So headcount has been going up at Google for a long time, but the rate of increase has been going down for a long time. So those are percentages. Those are actually hard numbers. 57,142 people were employed at Google this last quarter, and while that's more than the last quarter, it's only a 3.1% increase. So it's the slowest rate of headcount increase we've seen in years at Google. So back to the original point. Spending is coming down, hiring is slowing, and so the things that they hope for from Ruth Porat, in fact, are already happening.